Hey guys, what's up? Darcy here at Six Strings Nine Lives, back for a CD and vinyl update, and a few cassettes actually. So I don't know about you, but the first half of 2022 for me was a little slow going actually as far as new releases go. I probably only picked up about 6 or 7, maybe 8 at the most, but the second half here has really started to pick up, and the past few weeks a lot has come out, and I'm kind of mainly going to focus this update on these new releases. I don't do full-blown reviews of albums, but I'm definitely going to spend more time kind of reviewing and giving you my thoughts of this. Well, there's 3 kind of really major releases that have come out here. We got the new Megadeth, the new Ozzy Osbourne, which just came out, and the newest Blind Guardian, their 12th studio album. We're going to talk about each one of those and an album that came out a few weeks ago from a band that hasn't done an album in 33 years, and that's Toxic, their 3rd studio album. So I'll spend a little extra time talking about each album. I think for some of this stuff, and I'll explain as I go, it is too soon to, jump to any conclusions, or like I said, that's why sometimes I do have trouble doing a full-blown review, because sometimes you get this initial, oh God, this is just awesome. And then, a couple weeks later, you're like, reality check. I don't know if this is as awesome, or the reverse can happen. You can think something is just total shit, and it turns out that you're really enjoying it. So just give you my initial thoughts, and let me know if you, I'm sure a lot of you that watch my channel know these albums and have probably picked some up yourself. But today we're going to start off with, might as well, it's kind of a Megadeth day here for me today. I am, well, I'll be honest, I am really enjoying the new album, The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead. Here is the cover for it. Now, before we go on, I'll just give you a couple thoughts. Don't get me wrong, I do really like Dystopia, but I didn't maybe like it as much as some people built it up to be, and I think this album's actually better. And as we go through, we'll talk a bit about it. Initially, I don't know how I took the artwork to begin with, but I really love it now. If the whole kind of setup of this looks familiar, it is the same guy that did the cover artwork for Dystopia. I think his name is Brent. Where is it? Brent Elliott Smith. Really love what they did with the logo. It doesn't show on the CD as much as here, but it's kind of a black, matte black paint on the logo, with it starting to wear away into the silver edges, like one of those black knives, and the reflection from lighter, that chrominess to black. I really do enjoy that. Love the title. Back in the day, when Peace Sells, or what I'm listening to in the background today, So Far So Good, ... So What? They're back to that. I always love that. I wish they would have continued that on every album. But regardless, we got Vic Rattlehead on the cover. I love the background. Bring out the dead. Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead. But I'm not dead yet, if you know that skit or that actual movie. But here's the back cover. Very cool. Looks like Vic without his glove on. But I think this is great. Here's the gatefold. So we have, of course, Dave, Kiko. We got some firsts on this album. We got some seconds. So this is the first studio album to feature Dirk on drums. And I'm going to say right off the get-go, he brings a lot to the table. He is a fantastic drummer. If you know the band Soilwork, which I'm not super familiar with, that's the band he came from. So this is his first chance to shine. Kiko's second album. James Lomenzo's second stint with the band, even though he does not play on this album. The bass parts, well, the whole Dave Ellefson story. Dave brought in, after when David was dismissed from the band, Dave, which he's not stupid, he brought in arguably one of the best bass players in all of metal, and Steve DiGiorgio from Testament and tons of other stuff. I mean, if you know metal, you know who Steve DiGiorgio is. Fantastic bass player, and I think he did a great job on here. Shortly after that, James Lomenzo was, back in the band as a live performer, and then made a permanent member again for the second time. Second album with Kiko, and I think he really shines on here. He's much more involved in the songwriting, which, we can talk about this whole album. The actual album, I think the digital version or whatever has a couple like cover stuff. The one with Sammy Hagar and that other song, Police Truck, cover of whatever. I'm drawing a blank on that. Doesn't matter. But there is no cover songs on this album, which is awesome. There is 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 songs, 11 or 12 songs. But like I said earlier, I really enjoy this album. It's got a good balance of, that thrashy Megadeth. There's some catchy melodic stuff on here. There's a couple throwaway tracks, so we can go through this. And again, these are just my initial thoughts, but I am really enjoying this album. I'm enjoying it so much that, I love Megadeth. I always have, and since 1986, when I discovered Peace Cells, But Who's Buying, and then it just, they've had some ups and downs. I'm not, what band has not tried different things that didn't work, and if you're one of those fans that checked out on Megadeth after a certain album, this one, try it out. I think you might like it. But I did, like I said, I love these guys so much. I picked up the the CD version, which, there's the CD for that, and the hype sticker is right there, which says the epic new studio album featuring their hit new singles will be back, which I absolutely love that song. And what a way to end an album. For me, personally, my favorite closing track from Megadeth is My Last Words. Right when it ends and he goes, "Die," the song. This would be up there for ending tracks for me, for Megadeth. We'll be back, and it's just making a statement. We will be back. So, but also on here is Killing Time, which I think, I don't know how that would be a single personally. Maybe I'm just not getting it yet, but there is better songs than Killing Time on this album. And here is the cassette version. I will not open this one. This is just a souvenir for me. They're not super expensive. I don't know, just one of those things. The collector, especially bands like Megadeth, I will definitely pick that up. But let's talk about the opening track. Bring Out Your Dead, Bring Out Your Dead. The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. I think it's a great lead-off track. It's not super speedy or anything. Life in Hell, overall, good song. I just don't like the repetitive when they go, "Life in Hell," and they say it about 3 times. It's just kind of, maybe, I don't know, little laid back, unnecessary, I don't know. Night Stalkers, which was, second single or something? I forget. Great track. Personally, I have nothing against Ice-T, but that almost 21 seconds, it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't fit. If there is a version that comes out that is the non-Ice-T version, I will buy it. But I don't know, just that part where he says, what does he say? "Game over, bitches." It's cringeworthy, But other than that, that is a killer track. Very speedy, thrashy. Dogs of Chernobyl, starts off with that little wind chime, eerie stuff, kind of mid-pace throughout. Dave, Kiko trading off solos like crazy in here. I would love to hear the original bass tracks with David Ellefson, but we never will. But just, versus what Steve did with them, that would be just cool to know. But Steve does a killer job on here. There is some great stuff on here. And you can hear the bass. Everything fits. I think Dave probably just said to him, here you go. Don't do anything too crazy. We don't need a bunch of fretless stuff or anything like that. Just, lay down some good bass tracks. And he did. Now, after that, the mid part of this album kind of has, they're not shitty tracks. They could be considered filler in a way, but I'm not a big fan of the song Sacrifice. It's okay. Junkie is probably the weakest track in my opinion on here. Plus, we got Psychopathy, which is just kind of a lead into Killing Time, which I already told you. Killing Time, it's okay. The chorus is catchy. Maybe it'll grow on me. Soldier On, love that song. It is thrashy, speedy. Was that that was actually the first single, wasn't it? And then we get to the last, well, this is a double disc. I'll show you what I got here in a second. Celebutante starts off this kind of slow part and then into kind of a hard rock / metal speedier riff, which I really do like. It's more, I don't know what you'd call it. Maybe that could be a single because you could even probably play it on the radio. I don't know. But one of my initial favorite tracks on here, just because of the peaks and valleys in this song, is Mission to Mars. Some of the lyrics, whatever, take them or leave them, it doesn't matter. I'm not usually big on giving two shits about what a song's about, but it's super catchy. When it goes into that part, blast off, I'm on my way, I'm a shooting star. I love that part. I love the breakdown, and then at the end it just gets really heavy. This bass part comes in and thrashy, just some really thrashy, heavy stuff. And We'll Be Back. That one speaks for itself. Absolutely awesome track. So definitely check that one out. I would say, you know, there is some spoken parts. I love Dave Mustaine. I really do. But there's times when I just, you know, he's in an interview. I'm not big on him. I don't know. He seems to over-explain things sometimes. But the talking parts, what I'm actually trying to tell you, some of them you could take them or leave them. I'd say there's parts in here where maybe he does sound a little tired. But on the great songs, I mean, he hasn't lost a step. And me mentioning he sounds tired a little bit, it might be on a couple tracks. And they're probably some of my least favorite tracks, like Junkie, which, I don't know, let me know in the comments. Is that a good track to you? But yeah, Mission to Mars, go check that one out. So I actually ordered the black version from Amazon, and it got pretty bashed up. So I'm not going to open this one. It's got a really bashed up corner. So I got a replacement coming on the way. So I will send this back. So there's the hype sticker. But I also saw, because I have that North Dakota box, which if you don't know, I live in Canada, but I'm pretty close to the border. So I got this Walmart exclusive one sent to my box. And it's a little bit different. I will show you. All right, here we go. Here is the inner. It's got all that stuff I mentioned on it to you, and kind of a little gatefold or whatever of all the lyrics. Cool picture of a skull here. So anyways, the Walmart exclusive, which did not come with a hype sticker. I have no idea why. Not that that's the end of the world, but it is a 2 vinyl set, just like the black version. But this one is, well, we got two kind of blues. We got a, whatever this is, royal blue or blue. So here is disc 1, Vic on that, and kind of a background shot of that same burned out city on the cover. So we got that color on the AB side, or side 1, 2. And then we have this kind of aqua on album number 2, and there's a kind of a shot of the back cover. So yeah, pretty cool. This is, like I said, usually those Walmart exclusives in the States have a nice hype sticker, but whatever, not the end of the world. And up where I live, up here in Canada, up here, down here, our Walmart is not even close to the States with their vinyl. They do a much better job down there, up there. But so there's my kind of, I guess that was an extended review of the Sick The Dying and the Dead. Go check it out if you're a Megadeth fan. I just can't. If you're, you're a longtime fan, you're not going to be disappointed. Next up, let's go with, well, speaking of Walmart, I just picked this up at Walmart yesterday. Where is that? It was pretty cheap too. I think it was $10 or $12.88. That's kind of Walmart Canada always ends their numbers in 88. But yeah, here is the brand new album from Ozzy Osbourne, Patient Number 9. Now, I gotta say, okay, and I did mention before, I'm not gonna jump to any conclusions yet on this one, but my first impressions, this is way better than Ordinary Man, which, quick turnaround, 2 years. I'm actually quite happy with this album. It has better songs. It's got Zakk Wylde. It's got Tony Iommi on there. Who else? I mean, Chad Smith and Duff McKagan were on the other album. Robert from Metallica, which I think he co-wrote Patient Number 9 and played the bass on it. We got, I think that was the lead-off single, which I thought, it's okay. But I'm going to tell you right now, my favorite track on this album is called track number 8, Nothing Feels Right. I think that is the, third or fourth single, featuring Zakk Wylde on guitar. Great song, and I also liked Degradation Rules, which with Tony on it. Really enjoyed that one. And we got other guests on here, Mike McCready, which is he from Pearl Jam? I don't really, I'm not a big Pearl Jam guy, but I think that's where he's from. But he does a really good job on that song too. What other songs stick out? There's Eric Clapton, One of Those Days. That's a good track too. Mr. Darkness, which actually there's a part on Mr. Darkness, which is like I said, that Game Over Bitches, Megadeth, cringeworthy. There is a part on here. It ends with You Don't Even Know My Name, Asshole, and it is in a ridiculous psychotic Ozzy voice with no music behind it. It is just, I was just like, what? But you'll probably laugh at that one too. And I think there was one other thing that kind of I shook my head at, but I forget what it is. But overall, good album. 13 tracks. Probably I'd say the last 3 tracks are just kind of, I would say focus on the first 10 tracks. Those feel like the album because it ends with a song called Dark Side Blues, and when they throw in a 2-minute whatever kind of track like that, they're just, it's a throw in, and we all know that. But yeah, I'm not gonna say, well, I could say it's the best Ozzy album since Down to Earth, maybe. So far, like I told you before, it's early, but I am my initial reaction. I gotta show you that. My initial reaction, this is a good album. Great album. We'll wait and see, but that's pretty cool. I like that. So anyways, what's Ozzy? 73 years old, still doing this. The touring, going to an Ozzy show, I mean, that ship has sailed for me. I have no desire whatsoever. And just the pure cost of concerts these days is just off the charts. But do I like listening to a new Ozzy album and him putting out some stuff? Sure, I absolutely do. All right, leading into the next one, I am not a, one second. What I'm trying to say is I am Blind Guardian. I was not there in the beginning. I was late to the party there. That's the thing. Sorry about that. I was late to the party on Blind Guardian, my actual first new release from Blind Guardian. After I picked up some of their earlier, some Imaginations from the Other Side and, that mid part, which I think I only own maybe about 7 Blind Guardian albums. Still got a few to go. But my first brand new album was that, where is it? Was this, which was awful, really. And I don't mean it's just not what I was expecting. It wasn't what I had heard from Blind Guardian already. And I know the intentions of this album, so I'm not going to bash it too much, but this orchestral, Legacy of the Darklands, it's just not for me. And, I know, and 3 years later, that's not bad for to come back with an album, but I know Hansi, which I gotta say, Hansi is, if you're not familiar with the guy, he is, the lead vocalist and chief songwriter of Blind Guardian. He has a tremendous voice. This is power metal at its finest, and might as well hold up the new album. I only have it on CD, which Blind Guardian is a CD band for me at this point. You never know, that might change in the future, but here is the brand new album just released. When was that released? On the same day as Megadeth, I think, September 2nd, but very cool artwork. This would probably look pretty wicked on a vinyl version. 9 tracks, I think it clocks in around 50 minutes. But yeah, this is the Blind Guardian that it's not, well, it's stripped down from that orchestral stuff, but it's definitely back to that, just power metal, speedy double bass, great harmonies. The lead off track, which I absolutely love, Deliver Us from Evil, which I did write down a little. If you know this song, when he says, Father, and then it goes, deliver us from evil, show no fear, be God's tool. It's just the harmonies in here, and Hansi's voice is spectacular. Pretty much on every Blind Guardian album, he has a great voice. Another track, actually, which is Blood of the Elves, which was the second single, maybe. There's a part, and it's very similar to Deliver Us from Evil, where it goes into the chorus. It says, Queen, follow the sign, and it's just all harmonized. Share our sorrows, clear your mind. Check it out. A couple other favorite tracks on here. So we had a third single, which was Secrets of the American God, but maybe whatever. That was the second single. But and I think they just released Violent Shadows as the fourth single. But another one of my favorite tracks on here is Life Beyond the Spheres. Check that one out too if you haven't. Here's the CD, Nuclear Blast, jewel case. Yeah, thank you very much. I will take a jewel case all day long. And I did pick up the cassette version for a friend. She is going to really like this when I send it her way, but there is the cassette version. I don't know. This is a great album. I may even, if that price drops on the vinyl, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, there's the new Blind Guardian. If you're a fan of, like I said, great harmonies, just great guitar work, power, speed metal throughout. There is some wicked speedy tracks on here, and just the right amount of heavy. It's perfect. Go check it out. What are going to show you next? Okay. If you watched my channel, you know that I know that Obituary is my favorite active death metal band, and they came out with they did some live streams, I think in the mid or the tail half of 2021, and they recorded them, and they recorded them in a live environment, which not with a crowd or anything like that, but just they played them live. They just got their instruments out and just redid 2 of their classic albums. We have what's this? If you're a death metal fan, Slowly We Rot, but this is Slowly We Rot, Live and Rotting. So they redid their 1989 classic album in full, and like I said, they recorded it, and this thing is just, I would say, so close to the originals. It's I played them both back to back, and each one of these albums I did that, and I say maybe it's slowed down a tick, maybe, but not much. John Tardy's vocals are absolutely the same. He is awesome. He's got one of the best death metal voices out there. You can make out what he's saying. you know, in his way that he says it, and if that makes sense. But anyways, let's show you what I got in here. I really enjoy this one, but the next one I'll show you I even enjoy a little bit more. So yeah, track listing, Relapse Records, they always do a good job. This was released on also on a CD Blu-ray type of I did not get that, but always love the cover, love the blood dripping off the logo. Here is the just the credits, and I got this one on a Slowly We Rot. This is a custom half and half with splattered, limited to 200. The I think the most limited one sold out like, it feels like seconds, but regardless, this one is pretty cool looking. Same centering on both sides. So if you're a fan of if you're a big fan of Obituary, I'm sure you've already got those. And I picked up the cassettes because I have some Obituary cassettes that I just, I'm like, I'm going to regret not getting these. So there it is on cassette. And sorry, this is going to stay sealed. I know that's, I'd love to show that one to you, but I'm going to keep that one sealed. And then we got the just masterpiece of Cause of Death called, and I have always loved this eye thing. That would just, man, if I was going to get a big shoulder tattoo or something, that would be just wicked, but I'm too old for that shit. So Live Infection, and this, I just love it. I mean, just go play Chopped in Half. It's just like, it'll just bring you right back to when you first heard, you know, when did this first come out? 1990? Around, yeah, 1990. But yeah, just wicked. It's got, Turned Inside Out, Find the Arise, Body Bag, Circle of Tyrants, the cover song of Celtic Frost. Yeah, killer. Let's just show you what this one came with. All right, what do we got here? Oh yeah, isn't that awesome? Yeah. That would look good in one of those 12 by, or those little 13 by 13 frames. Band shot, and that's probably right in that room that they recorded this stuff. And you know, there's a few, you know, I can hear Donald yelling in the background a little bit, and a few little, I'm not gonna say funny stuff, but just, you know, stuff that wouldn't be on a studio album. But this vinyl is, what is this one? Custom color and color splattered. This one's also limited to 200, but this is probably one of my favorite ones that I've picked up lately. I'll show you both sides, so little more black on this side, but check out these albums. They're you know, they're not, like I said, they're not live as in, you know, at a show live, but they're performed live and they sound great. What else? Okay, let's wrap this one. Oh, and I did pick up the cassette on that one too. So yeah, I'm a little bit nuts that way, but oh well, I could spend my money on dumber things, I'm sure. Lastly today, we're gonna take a look at the newest album from Toxic. They've been gone for, so if you know the albums World Circus or Think This, from what are they, 1987, 1989. You know, those two albums, two different singers. We got a brand new album with a new singer again. But I remember mentioning in one of those videos that you almost, if you were just new to the band and you sat down and listened to each one of these albums, you might not even know that was a different singer. But anyways, here's the brand new album from Toxic called Dismorta. I don't know, this artwork is not super great, but I think it fits. And I got the black vinyl to match the cover because my other two, I got the green and I got the blue. So I thought, why not? Let's just get black vinyl. This is a 2022 release from Massacre Records, which reissued their second album just, you know, months ago, called Think This, if you want to check that out. But Josh Christian, he is the, you know, basically he is Toxic. He's back. And I'm glad. This is quite a surprise. I was thinking this is, similar to, not similar in genre as the Possessed album was also 33 years later. And that one absolutely blew me away. And initially, this one was kind of blowing me away a bit. But then it really kind of, like I said, don't jump to conclusions right away. But this is definitely in my top 5 of 2022 releases. Initially I thought it's way up here, but it's notched down a couple. Don't get me wrong, it is not bad in any way, but check out, my favorite track on here from the get-go was called Straight Razor. Very speedy. There's a lot going on a Toxic album as far as guitar work. There's, it's almost like, it's not super comparable to Annihilator, but if you know Jeff Waters, there's lots of little extras going on that you don't always hear in that first initial few listens, or you could even be 10, 12 listens in and still hear something different. There's a lot of guitar work on here, a lot of cool solos. Also check out that title track's really good, Dismorta, The Radical, Creating the Abyss. That's a really good, Chasing Mercury. Check out that one. And it ends with another one of my favorite tracks called Judas. So if you're going to check out 2 tracks from this album, go Straight Razor or Judas. And that might be a good selling point for you if you do want to pick this up. And if you have not checked out their earlier work, World Circus, great album. This is technical thrash metal. That's how you would best sum these guys up. Nice cardboard inner, just a single piece and with lyrics and credits. And here's the black vinyl. And yeah, I hope these guys stick around. I like a surprise, and this was honestly a surprise, because initially when it was announced, I was like, okay, whatever, let's see what happens. And I think I heard the first single and I wasn't convinced at that point, but I said, I'm going to still pick up the album. I really like their other 2 albums. And what's this guy's, I should mention this. Who does he have on vocals again? His name is Ronald Iglesias. And great other second guitar player, drummer. The bottom end is great on this album too. Well produced, and I think production wise, who was involved? Oh, actually, right here I read that too. Produced by Josh Christian himself and Martin Furia. So Martin Furia is the newest guitar player for Destruction. Sorry, for Destruction. Yeah, Martin took over guitar duties from longtime Destruction member Mike Zifringer, and Martin does production too. I know he did that production on what is that band called? Whatever, doesn't matter. But yeah, go check out the new Toxic. And at this point of the year, I know there's lots still coming out, but yeah, this is in my top 5 for sure. Go check it out. Sorry, I went on a little longer than I planned, but I did want to talk a little bit extra about some of these new releases. So we got an update with built-in reviews or whatever. So hope you enjoyed that. Until next time, stay heavy.